accepted the path of devotional service is never bereft of any results which can be obtained from actually maybe studying the Vedas, or he's performing some austerity, or doing some sacrifices, or he is also giving charity in the mode of goodness, not in the charity of ignorance and passion. I will come to you on that particular charity aspect when we touch upon the next set of activities, which is after the 12th chapter. And also anyone who is attempting to understand it philosophically or trying to do some kind of fruitive activities or fruitive works, right? And this simply by performing the devotional practice or services, everyone is going to get one thing in certain. They are going to reach the supreme eternal abode. So that means the underlining statement which Krishna finally says is, you are an archer, you need to fight in the war. You are a warrior, and your only job is to just simply fight, not to avoid, not to take the concept of a renunciation in your heart. So that is what will take you back to God. So having said that, we are moving to the most wonderful and one of the most specialized, I would say one of the topmost of all the chapters of Bhagavad Gita is the 9th chapter. Srila Prabhupada loved 9th chapter like anything. Every time he has quoted many verses. You can also look at a lot of verses which is being explained by Srila Prabhupada in Vanipedia, Vani quotes, where Prabhupada quotes different shlokas very often in his lectures. And 8th chapter is practically the most important chapter for one to attain the supreme. That's the only way. I also said that is Phalashruti, means someone who is thinking about what do I gain, what do I get from this. I said the 7th chapter talks about sinful activities will be eradicated. 8th chapter will enable your family members, your forefathers, and those who are not in a position to get because of the lack of samskaras, that they get a chance to get a body. That chapter will help if we practice to chant every day. That's 8th chapter. 9th chapter is the one which will take us closer to the Supreme Lord. It will practically take us close to Supreme Lord. Why? Because this is called the secret chapter. So we will touch upon this particular chapter and we will understand it in a many closer instances. There are very few important verses which I will touch upon today, but you need to step into your close private time and read this particular chapter many times. Then you will know the realistic aspect of what Krishna wants to tell us as secret of success. Let me share my screen now. Okay, this is okay, so we are here and we will present here. Are you all able to see my screen?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, thank you. Okay, essence of Bhagavad Gita as it is. We take darshan of this their lordships Shri Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, Sudarshan Bhagavan and Giriraj Govardhan. With their blessings, we'll be able to enable him. This is very important for us. We have to be enabled by them, and when they enable them, when they enable us, we will be able to understand the very intricate science of this Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, it's highly not possible. So let's pray our obeisances. Nilachalaya Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadrabhyam Jagannataya Teno Namaha. Okay, so we go to the prayers. Prayers are very important. As I said, it's for the spiritual preceptors. We seek their blessings and we seek their permission to understand this divine scripture. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Bhashatri Starine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasana Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare. Gopam Guratiga Chalam Bangalanga Tere Padam Mande Shegulundi and Taranam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tatsat. Dedicated to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, so we once again touch upon a very beautiful verse from the Gita Mahatmya, glorifying the supreme, brilliant, effulgent sun literature of wisdom. Gita Shastra idam punyam epate prayatat pumam Vishnur padam avapnoti bhayashokadi varjitaha. If one properly follows the instructions of Bhagavad Gita, one can be freed from all the miseries and anxieties of the life. One will be freed from all fears in this life, and one's next life will be spiritual. This is a massive promise, and Ashvasan means we are being given a wonderful blessings. Just by following the instructions of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, one can simply get freed from all kinds of anxiety, all kinds of miseries. We can't even contemplate on this. Krishna is going to provide us all that what is needed for us, and he will take care of us. Just simply following the instructions of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And any amount of fear we have in this life, in our previous lives, and whichever life, all this will just get fear personified flies away from the personification of the Supreme Lord. So just by seeing the Lord, the words of the Lord, the holy names of the Lord, the fear personified will run away. So that is the blessings we are getting. And one's next life is going to be completely spiritual. The most confidential knowledge, Radha Vidya, Raja Vidya Yoga. This is completely transcendental. This is completely confidential. It's not that easy for us to even contemplate on what this confidential knowledge is, how it is that Krishna is ready to reveal that most confidential knowledge to Arjuna. Let us go to the chapter and understand this. First sloka, it's a direct hit by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What he says, Shri Bhagavan Vacha idam tu guhyatamam pravakshami anusuyave jnana vijnana sahitam yat jnatva moksha subhat. The Supreme Personality of God said, my dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, please underline this word. My dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart you the most confidential knowledge of the realization for us to understand, knowing which you shall be relieved of the miseries of material existence. I need to spend some time with you on this particular shloka. This particular shloka is very, very pure in its nature for the reason Krishna is straightly hitting Arjuna. Only anyone who is envious of the Lord cannot understand the Supreme Lord, nor will be given that confidential knowledge. He can never understand, nor he can get that realization to understand the Supreme Lord's message. So we are all in the same bracket. Sometime in our life, right? Sometime in our life as living entities, we were actually pushed to feel very envious of the Supreme Lord. This has broken the camel's back. Unfortunately or fortunately, we don't have that qualification anymore, or we don't have the qualification to say with confidence that I love the Supreme Lord completely 100%. All these days, we were not that serious. If you notice, even in Bhagavad Gita, the entire 8th chapter, till Arjuna takes the shelter of Krishna as the supreme spiritual master and accepting him as the disciple, Krishna was only instructing him very superficially. As soon as Arjuna accepted his position as a disciple, not as a friend, automatically Krishna started playing a very different way. His moods changed, his way of presentation changed, his love for his disciple and for his friend manifolded. He started exposing himself more and more. He wants to reveal himself more and more. He started giving some very, very truthful conditions, very thoughtful conditions. He started giving him the intelligence, knowledge, blissfulness, happiness, methods to get connected with me and complete. And he finally said, how do you attain the Supreme? All these data he started giving one by one, one by one. But you see, as you notice, there's one beautiful thing which Krishna is saying here in this particular subject matter. He's saying if you are envious, you don't get the confidential knowledge, nor you get realization to understand that confidential knowledge. That's a fact, whether you accept it or not. End of the day, Bhagavad Gita is the copyright of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the spiritual realm is the copyright and is intellectual property. You cannot escape it. You cannot leave it. You have to accept whatever he is ready to reveal it to you. But once you take a shelter of it at his lotus feet, automatically, if you notice, Krishna is immediately telling him next one. In knowing which, you shall be relieved of all kinds of misery of this material existence. You just don't have to worry at all. Krishna is ready. No one in the entire world, none of the gods, none, zero. No one has even contemplated to tell here, at least till now. No one has even attempted it. Not even, nor Ganesh, nor Kartikeya, nor Jesus, nor Allah, nor anyone. Only the Supreme Lord can tell it completely. Nor Shiva, even he could not say anything. Because in the Shastras is explained, when Shiva was explaining to Parvati in Padma Purana, Aradhanimi Savesham Vishnu Aradhanam Param, Tasmat Parantam Devi Tadyanam Samarpanam, Samarshanam. When he said that, Krishna was ready to accept whatever Lord Shiva said. And so he is in a very good position to say that, okay, whatever Shiva is explaining is true. But next time someone came and asked this question, right? That was Hiranyakashipu. He said to Brahma, can I get liberation? Then someone else went to Shiva and said, can I get liberation? So that time, Shiva said to that person, Brahma also said to that person, a very equivalent contribution. They said, if there is something called Mukti, Mukti Pradatai Sarvesham Vishnu Revi Asamchayaha. If there is something called Mukti or liberation from this material bondage of birth, death, old age, and disease, and you are considering yourself to be a body, not a spirit soul, the only personality who can actually give something which is useful for you to come out of this cycle is only Lord Vishnu. I can't give in. I am in the same bracket as what you are, maybe a little more higher, but that doesn't mean I am exposed of. So see, you see, this is how Krishna is expressing his happiness to reveal himself with those people who are not envious of him. We have been very envious. We are honestly being envious. We didn't want to see Krishna enjoying, even though we are the enjoyed, right? But we don't want to be in that position or in that capability. We wanted to be the enjoyer. That's why Krishna had to relinquish his. He did not fully relinquish us. He still holds the reins, and that's why he's seated in the as super soul in the heart. He did not want us to just relinquish and throw us off. He said, okay, I know that you are a little rebellious in your thoughts. That's not a great thing to happen, but I wish that you change your facet. All you need to do is go back to the place where you wanted to enjoy for as long as you want, but you are still welcome to my abode, and it is my abode. He never said that it's our abode. Why? Because Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Krishna is the only person who will say, I demand complete surrender. The last sloka of the Bhagavad Gita ends with this. Sarvadharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja ham tam sarvapapebhyo mokshishyami ma shuchaha. You can only surrender unto me. You have to surrender unto me. He demands. Why? Because if he gives that free will also, we'll probably sit on his head. So Krishna doesn't want that option to be given to him or to any one of us. But when you are given a wonderful opportunity, you love that opportunity, but you should show that appreciation and gratitude. 99.99% we don't have that in our heart. The concept of gratitude and appreciation does not exist. You can see practically someone comes and gives you some, let's say I come and give you a chocolate or a biscuit, right? You take it. Probably you will say thank you because you've been taught in the school, like a parrot, you have been telling thank you, right? But are you really saying it from your heart that I really appreciate that someone is coming and giving? But if you go and give, say, a food package, right, Krishna Prasadam, to a person who is homeless and really is in such a bad shape, you know how much appreciation they will give? Phenomenal. They will say, I really wholeheartedly like you. I am thanking you for that support and gratefulness you are giving me this food. I was desperately looking for something hot, and I got it by God's grace. They are the people who appreciate. Why? Because they've been beaten like anything all their life and still getting beaten. But Krishna has given us everything, every single comfort. In Hindi, they call it as roti, makan, kapada, food, clothing, and shelter. All the three are covered with us. That's why we are all sitting here. Otherwise, why will you all sit here? We'll probably run away to some place where we are thinking, well, where's my next food? Where's my next shelter? Where is my next clothing? This is what we'll. These are the three fundamental requirements for any humans: a shirt to cover, a roof to cover again, a food to take care of for yourself. This is what is important for all of us as human beings. That's fundamental. Now, Krishna is trying to convey to us through Arjuna that because you are not envious, I am still ready to accept you as the supreme friend, and I'm ready to impart that fundamental knowledge, which is most important and essential and confidential, which will make you understand where your position is and where my position is and how you can come back to me. That realization I am ready to give, right? Okay, let's go further. This is the shloka. It's very important. The next shloka is much more stronger. That's the confidential knowledge. Let's load the screen first. So we finish this. Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratyakshavagamam Dharmyam Susukam Kartam Avyayam. This knowledge is the king of all education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting and it is joyfully performed. So you see that how beautifully Krishna has come to a very, very important conclusion for Arjuna to accept the truth of the entire eternity of his existence. We all have a shelf life, right? We all have some kind of a shelf life. Do you all agree? We all have a shelf life. We have to have a shelf life. The shelf life is starting from zero, or rather 1 year, or rather zero, and probably 70 years, 80 years, 90 years, and 100 years. Let's keep it as 100 years is our shelf life. After which, you don't have a shelf life because you don't exist anymore. So in this world, it's the same thing for you and me and for everyone, because when you are present here in person, what happens is that you are directly given a chance to stay in this world and your value is counted. The moment you are not in this planet or in this plane, whatever you say, you are not to be taken into account. That's a zero count. You are out of the picture. So in the same way, Krishna is giving that information to Arjuna. He's saying Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam, king of knowledge, the king of education is this knowledge. What is this knowledge? You are not this body, you are a spirit soul. You need to realize that. You cannot just simply practice, you cannot simply take in words as theory. Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam. And that's the most secret of all knowledge. And that's the most secret of all secrets, which you can even think about. Pavitram idam uttamam, which is not just a normal knowledge. It's a knowledge based upon the purest form, which gives the direct perception of the Supreme Self. The Supreme Lord is in the heart, and I am associated with Him as the soul. That is the realization which is most key for everyone. That Krishna is trying to convey to Arjuna now after completing 8 chapters. Why? Because Arjuna was not ready. He was not ready. Of course, in that process, it's for us. Even now, we are not ready to accept that. How many of you here are ready to accept that you are a spirit soul and you are not this body? Can we raise our hands? Well, I don't want to raise it because I'm not. Oh, one, two devotee, 3 devotee. Oh, okay. They are all very exalted. 4 devotee. Oh, they have all realized. They are all realizing or realized already that 5th devotee, someone, our administrator is showing halfway. Na gar mein, na ghat mein. Means here, there, or there. Not fully. So fully now. Okay. So this is the process by which you can actually understand and accept that Krishna is a supreme personality of Godhead. The way in which he is going to give us the initial boost is to make us to realize that we are this spirit soul We are not this body, but we are inside this body. And that's the highest of our realization, which Krishna wants to convey to every single one of us. That's why he calls this as a very important subject matter and the most secret of all secret. Right? Susukam kartum avyayam. What is susukam kartum avyayam? That which can be joyfully performed. What is can be joyfully performed? That beautiful activity which is completely dedicated to the pleasing of the Supreme Lord, devotional service. This is what will help us understand the Supreme Lord in a very closer fashion. That's why we chant the Lord's names more often. That's why we always connect with the Lord through his holy names. Why? Because there is no difference between the Lord and the holy name, right? Nam nam akari bahuda nija sarva shaktis tatra pita nimata smarane nakalaha eta adrishi tava kripa bhagavan mama pi dur daivam vidarsham yajani ragaha trinadapi sunichena tarareva saishana manina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. Right? You need to understand that with humble nature, with a very humble heart, with humbleness to be at the lowest level, as humble as a blade of grass, as tolerant as a banyan tree, you show that appreciation and gratitude, then the holy names will reveal himself to us so that we can connect with the Supreme Lord and understand and realize the purest of all purest knowledge and the secret of all secrets. That's why this particular verse is considered as the game changer for Arjuna, and also a great change and a revolution in Arjuna's heart, that he changes his facet, then agrees. Krishna, thank you so much. I really appreciate. I am full of gratitude, and that you have given me this divine knowledge with so much of uh, detail that I can't even repay to what you have done for me till date. And this is what is also a very big game changer shloka for all of us. Every living entity who comes across this particular shloka, if you genuinely sit and read this and meditate upon it, you will really see a massive revolution in your heart, massive change in your heart. What is the change? You will want to become more and more sinless. You will want to become more and more conscious about Krishna. Never forget Krishna. Think about Krishna and see how you can devote yourself in the devotional service day in and day out on a very practical manner. So this is a very important verse. Please spend some time to read it when you go back. Right? We go to another important thing, because Krishna is saying, Avijantanti ma muda manushim tanu ashritam parambam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. After doing all these things, Krishna is going and telling the Arjuna that this is important. Why? Because fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know me to be in my transcendental nature as a supreme lord of all, as all that to be. Because they think that, oh, this is a boy. He is not very, maybe he's a little powerful personality. He may be some god, but he is not the supreme person of Godhead. All these people were the ones who are actually, the first one is Shishupala. He was his own relative, but still he played a lot of havoc on Krishna's words. He did all kinds of nonsense. He started blaspheming in depth. You see, the second photo is Putana. Even though Putana was so much demon, right? She was a big demoness and she wanted to kill Krishna. Krishna elevated, the Supreme Lord elevated Putana to the level of mother, because that is the costless mercy Krishna can actually impart on all of us, every living entity. The third one again is Kamsa. He's getting thumped by the Supreme Lord himself. Why? Because he didn't accept the supremacy. He captured, he put his own father, mother, everyone in the prison. He was completely demoness. He was demon, completely demon. He was not interested to hear to any good advices by all his ministers. So then Krishna had to come and show himself that I am the Supreme Lord, Mama Bhuta Maheshwaram. My transcendental nature is not a normal thing like yours. I am the Supreme Lord. I am the Lord, whoever you may think has to come under me. You need to understand this. Only the fools who think. Why Prabhupada explains this, right? Who speaks nonsense? Only the fool speaks nonsense. How will you know who is a fool? Only when he opens his mouth. Till then, everyone looks the same. So that is why we are very conscious about the fact that we don't want to simply do something stupid. Prabhupada says that if you want to speak, speak about Krishna, otherwise shut your mouth. He is so straightforward. I just read one message yesterday when Prabhupada is explaining this. He is saying that a person who is intelligent doesn't open his mouth unnecessarily, unless until he wants to speak about Krishna. Otherwise, he's happy to do his chanting, he's happy to do reading of Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, or spend some time hearing about the glories of the Supreme Lord. But he will not just simply open his mouth. That's the power of the Supreme Lord's disciples, devotees, who wants to take to the level of serious consideration of spiritual upliftment. So that is why Krishna is explaining them to Arjuna that you see, these are the people are very, very idiots. These are the fools who would definitely think that I am not the Supreme Lord. They think and then they get blasted with me. So then next level he goes. It's not enough, but you should also understand who are these devotees. These are the devotees. Mamatmanas tumpartha Devim Prakriti Mashritaha Bhajanti Ananya Manaso Nyatva Bhutadim Avyayam. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, the devotees, are under the complete protection of the divine nature, the Supreme Lord, as I am. They are fully engaged in my devotion service because they know me as a Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. Right? Wonderful. This is phenomenal. How Krishna is explaining one person, Avidjantan Nama Muda, someone who is a fool who always tries to deride me, doesn't accept my authority. Second level is he is trying to say very clearly that Mahatmanastu Mam Partha. These are great souls. They are not common souls. They are all very great devotees. Even though Krishna spent a lot of time with the Pandavas, even though the Pandavas lost the battlefield, but still Krishna was there with him all the time, helping, and serving. He never accepted anything in returns. As okay, I'm going to do this, please give me this. No. You see here, Draupadi's Vastrabharana is happening. Krishna, he was not present when Draupadi was dragged. Krishna was not present when Draupadi was holding herself the sari. She was trying all her levels best with her own energy, capacity, power, anything you can call. She was trying to hold and do anything. Finally, she said, I don't have anyone else to take shelter of. Oh Krishna, you are the only solace. Please help me. And she simply opened her hands and said, oh Krishna, please help me. You are the only one who can protect me from every single disparity I'm going through. Automatically, Krishna gave her zillions and zillions of thorns of saris, which we can't even contemplate on. That guy Dushasana became extremely tired and he fell off. In the same way, you can see these wonderful devotees present here, sitting and chanting and glorifying the Supreme Lord in their own better way, in their own family. Krishna is not asking them to run and come and sit in the forest. They are all sitting in their houses. They are all enjoying the wonderful divine nature, right? This is what he is expecting us to do in our own house. Sit and chant your rounds, do devotional service, do deity worship, spend some time understanding the scriptures, make sure that you do nice offerings for the Supreme Lord as strengthful as you have, right? Make sure that you offer it to the Supreme Lord and then release that preeminence which is coming from his lotus mouth. This is what is Krishna consciousness all about. Spending time doing things for the pleasure of Krishna and be in that wonderful umbrella of comfort zone, happy zone, and complete protection zone. That is simply what is expected from us. So this is a very forthwithing shloka which explains to us that how Krishna is really, really happy and very caring towards us, even though we have been doing all sorts of nonsenses in some way or the other. But Krishna is still ready to take us up back to his abode. That's amazing. And 9.22 is the verse. If someone wants really something which I said long before, Ananyasya chinta chintomam ye jana pariyupaste tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. That's the power of the Supreme Lord, because Krishna decides No one can. That is a statement in the Shastra. It says, Rake Krishna Mareke, Mare Krishna Rakeke. If Krishna decides to kill someone, no one can protect him. But if Krishna decides to protect, no one can kill him. You see practically here in this particular verse, in that photo, you can see Prahlad Maharaj being put into all kinds of distress. Narsindev had to come in person. Lord Vishnu had to come in person just to protect him and just to make sure the world understands and realizes how great his devotee is. Are all the devotees the same? Answer is yes. Prabhupada says anyone who chants one time Hare Krishna with heart, with the core of your heart, Krishna accepts them as a pure devotee. So this is the way we need to look at them also, because it's the love which we are talking about. It's the craving which you want to understand, that the eagerness for you to go back to the Supreme Lord's abode and relish in the different pastimes which Krishna is actually promoting himself with. Why? Because he needs to get the fallen conditioned souls back. That's why he had to promote. There is no reason for him to promote. 3/4 of the entire cosmic manifestation is the spiritual realm. 1/4 is the material realm. In that 1/4 realm, we have that Devinam, Maheshdam, Haridam. Before Haridam is all material world, right? We are going through this. Devi, Mahesha, Haridama, Shuteshuteshu. Brahma Samhita explains this. So we are in the material realm. So we are trying to juggle around anything and everything all through our life. Sometimes in the body of a cat, body of a dog, body of a pig, body of a tiger, body of a fish, body of a reptile, body of an insect, body of anything you can think of, or without any body, but eventually some human body, but human body with many, many lower consciousness, right? There are 400,000, 4 lakh 80,000 species, 4.8 lakhs. Is that correct? How do you spell it? How many species are there?
8.4 million species of life.
8.4 million species are there. In that, 400,000 species are from this human form. Only constitutionally based on the consciousness. 8,400,000 species. In that particular situation, imagine how we would have gone up and down the entire cosmic manifestation. We would be wanting, no, we have been here as humans always. No. Krishna says, what if we are thinking about a cockroach, then next life is cockroach body. We can't choose, we don't have a choice because you chose it, your feeling, so you need to have that kind of a body. So Krishna is very clear about it. But again, that doesn't stop us. Krishna is very costless, he is merciful, he gives so many options. Just like how he gave an option for Bharat Maharaj to recollect. Krishna is very, very merciful. He will always keep us in his good books because he doesn't want to let loose any living entities. He gives that, especially if he is a devotee, he will go out of his way to help. So this is the power and loveliness. You need to have that lovelium, selfishness. You need to be very selfish to acquire Krishna. It's not that Krishna will just be there and then you also be here and then you talk on a long distance call. Which relationship till date has worked on a long distance? Can anyone say with confidence? No long distance has ever worked. Short distance is not working in any relationship. How do you expect a long relationship? It's impossible, isn't it? So it's a fact of life. So what we need to understand here, Krishna, when he says, beautiful verse is, Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. Why? Because Krishna is saying that Brahmanda Brahmite Kone Bhagyavan Jiva Guru Krishna Prasadepaya Bhakti Lata Bija. We've been evolving ourselves in different species into the entire cosmos. We've been going in and around. It's like a spaceman. We have been traveling in different bodies, different species. We have been going, but we don't want to get a snapshot of all that. Even though Krishna is entitled and the material energy is entitled to give us that snapshot when we leave this body and we are on our way back to the Supreme Abode. But again, we only pray to the lotus feet of the Lord and lotus feet of the spiritual master and say, oh Lord, please enable me that I don't get distracted from that small iota of chance I have got to be rested at your lotus feet as an atom. This is the prayers of the great devotees. They always think about that, always think about the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Just to get the glimpse of that lotus feet, the millions and millions of saints, yoga practitioners, right, whom we call as Hiranya Garbhas, they have been meditating for thousands and millions of years. Pantas tu koti satavatsara sambragamyor vayur atapi manaso muni pungavanam. Right? They are meditating at the lotus feet of the Lord just to get the glimpse of the lotus feet. Forget about the complete form of the Lord. We are so happy. We are worshipping Radha Gokulananda, Radha Landaneshwara, Radha Madhava, Radha Shyamsundar. We are just relinquishing everything and we are just relishing the Supreme Lord's beautiful form, like beautifully decorated and all that. That's these original forms, right? We are, but these munis and saints who are sitting and meditating yogis, they are seeing in the speed of mind. You can imagine, I want to be in America. You're already in America. You don't have to go there physically. That's the speed in which your thinking is. And like this speed of mind, these yogis are meditating in different levels. The Ashtanga levels, they are Niyama, Yama, Niyama, Pratyahara, Dharana, all these levels, different levels these people are in. They're sitting and meditating to get the glimpse of the Supreme Lord's lotus feet alone. Here we have got chance, we are getting lotus feet, Charan Tulsi, Charan Darshan, and then we are getting super prasadam. But still, familiarity breeds contempt. We are very familiar with the Lord. We are saying, okay, chill out, Krishna is there, I am here, I am enjoying myself, you enjoy yourself. I will still worship Krishna and I will be happy with whatever devotional practice I am doing, which is bogus. Krishna is saying that it's bogus, it's not possible. You need to up your system. You need to be stronger. You should be conscious. You should be doing that which Krishna wants you to do, not that you want what Krishna wants it. And that way you say, okay, whatever I am trying to do is all good. We should try to inspire Krishna. Krishna will definitely inspire us, but that's a different story. But we should act in such a way that that's a great inspiration for us to serve Krishna. That's the way Krishna consciousness can improve in our own life. Krishna doesn't want your consciousness. Krishna has his own consciousness, but we want Krishna consciousness. So that is why we have to be conscious about it, right? So this verse is a key success for you to understand completely that if you want the Supreme Lord to be your well-wisher, you need to first keep that first step. And in that, Krishna says, I will carry what they don't have. I will make sure I preserve what they have. Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. So we
Sorry,
are
Prabhu,
very.
just so you know, sharing your screen. So just yeah.
Sorry. See, again, I forgot. Thank you for informing.
Thank you.
Yes, I hope this is clear. Sharing. Okay, so this is the shloka we are talking about, and then by the grace of the Supreme Lord, we are always in the safe zone and in a very protective zone, as I said. So by grace of the Supreme Lord, we will go further. This is what Krishna wants from us. There is nothing else Krishna is expecting us from us. Zero. Because he is Atmaramascha Munayo. He is completely self-satisfied. Because everything belongs to him and everything is in for him. It's like Prabhupada explains. A person who goes to a river Ganges or any other rivers and takes water in his hands and pours the water back to the Ganges. Right? What is a big deal about it? The water belongs to Ganges and you are showing as if a big devotion of taking the water and pouring back to the water. That is the way we are thinking, that I am giving it for Krishna's pleasure and I am giving it for the greatness of I am giving, that way we are talking about. But it's not. Krishna wants patram pushpam paramtayam yome bhakta prayachati tadaham bhaktyam upaharitam asnami prayatatmanaha. Completely one with love and devotion. If you can simply offer a leaf, flower, fruit or water, he is ready to accept. If everything belongs to Krishna, there is nothing called that it belongs to us. We are only probably a manager or we are probably one who is taking a chance and an opportunity to take something and use it for ourselves. But it's good that if you use it in Krishna service. We want to eat grapes, we want to eat apple, we want to eat orange, right? What do? We simply offer it to Krishna and accept that. That's all you need to do. It belongs to Krishna and we are giving back to Krishna and saying, oh Lord, it's yours. We are just requiring a few things, what you give to us as your remnants, and we'll be happy and self-satisfied. This is what we want. You see, this is a beautiful photograph of this wonderful fruits and vegetable seller. This lady was so enamored by the Supreme Lord's beautiful effulgence and beauty, right? She forgot about that she came for something else. She simply started loading Krishna's hands with so much of fruits. She said that it all belongs to you, Krishna. I don't have anything. I just love to just see your beautiful form. I don't want anything else. She was a very poor lady, but what Krishna gave in return? The complete basket was fully loaded with treasure. For the few fruits he took, and that too he couldn't hold. 1 or 2 mangoes he is holding, right? That's the love which Krishna reciprocates. That's the love Krishna reciprocates with all his devotees. So we should be happy for that. So simple as it, when he says Patram Pushpam Palam Toyam, this is what he is expecting, and this is what we should be doing. When we offer a lotus out to his lotus feet, a tulsi, when we give him some nice water, milk, or whatever we can in our capacity, fruits or flowers, daily, routinely, in a natural way, with so much of love, automatically you are capturing the Supreme Lord. And that is not enough. After you do that, you naturally become more surrendered to the Supreme Lord. Why? Because the love you have for the Supreme Lord is going to increase manifold. This is personal philosophy. This is completely personal philosophy. You are thinking, you are acting, and you are contemplating. All the three is based on that you are accepting that Krishna is a person and he is the one who is going to protect me and help me at any given point of time. The devotees do that constantly. They think about that. That is how it is. Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishashi yuktaivam atmanam matparayanaha. Engage your mind always in thinking of me. Become my devotee, offer obeisance unto me, and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come back to me. There is no doubt about it. See, again, all these devotees, they are completely dedicated in doing the only thing which you need to do is chant the holy names. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama Kevalam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Hare Hare.
Iti Shodakashaka Nam Kali Kalmashanashanam Nato Parataro Upaya Sarva Vedeshu Drishyati. The complete Vedas have already designed and agreed and just resigned, saying that Nato Parataro Upaya, there is no other way. Sarva Vedeshu Drishyati. That's what is the equation from the Vedas. So chanting the holy name of the Lord is the only option for us to go closer to the Supreme Lord and connect with him eternally. Because this holy name is not coming from here. It's coming from the Supreme Abode. Kolokera Premadana Harinama Sankirtana. That's why Prabhupada explains this in a beautiful purport on the 4th canto. It's by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, one immediately concentrates on the sound vibrations and thinks of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. And very quickly one is elevated to the position of Samadhi, which is the last step of the 8-fold yoga system. One goes on chanting the holy name of the Lord, which is not different from the Supreme Lord, personality of Godhead himself. Naturally, his mind becomes absorbed in the thoughts of the Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 8th chapter, 44th verse. So this is where we actually contemplate on how we can become more connected with the Supreme Lord in the chanting of the holy name and spending time pleasing the Lord by the way how he wants us to please him. That's the key for success. Not that we do it ourselves and then say that, okay, Krishna, this is how I want to please you. No, we should see from that angle. How do you want us to please you, Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna? You tell us. And Krishna will guide you because he sits in the heart. He will tell you, he will give you indicators. It is expected that he will give the indicators. It's not that he will not, because he is a person. The more you come closer, more forward you come, Krishna is going to come closer to you. The entire chapters of end-to-end breadth of Bhagavad Gita talks about only this: personal, 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 personal. Krishna is not, we are not going to think about Krishna as an impersonal Brahman or he is the localized Paramatma. We are not looking at that. We are looking him as the Purna Bhagavan. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Ete Chamsa Kalapumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Arjuna accepted. Krishna gave so many options and all that. Finally, Krishna, I completely accept you as the Supreme Personality of Bhagavan. Ete Chamsa Kalapumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. This is what I am. My expectation is, my realization is, this is what you are giving me the intelligence to understand you. That's what Arjuna is trying to convey. He will do that in the 11th and 12th chapter. But at this point of time, we have 9th chapter with this particular equation which has come to us. Patram pushpam palam tvayam yomeya bhakta prayachati. With love and devotion, if you can offer anything and everything for the, especially for what the Lord wants, we should do. Like for example, someone, Prabhupada gives a very nice example of one pujari, a priest in a Kali temple. You know, he was like he was into a lot of sacrifice, right? Obviously, Kali means sacrifices. So what he was doing is that he was saying, okay, I'm going to sacrifice this, that, like that. So then he started doing this. See the mean mentality which the persons have. So what he did was, okay, there was a mosquito which was flying up, and he said that this one belongs to you, the Kali, like that he gave, right? And then someone came and gave 100 rupees and some coins. So he showed it to Kali and said, this belongs to me, and this coin belongs to me. Anything which falls down belongs to me. So he used to put the coin and put it down. And so everything fell on the floor and he used to put it in his pocket. But then when he saw, so then he felt so sad that he saw some mosquitoes going and some houseflies going and all that. He said, this mosquito belongs to you. This mosquito belongs to you. Like that he was giving off. So then Kali came and asked that, why can't you at least give me something which is tangible? You are giving these mosquitoes, and in his dream, and came and said, oh, you are giving me mosquitoes and outflies. At least you should offer with the money which that person gave you. You should offer a goat or something as sacrifice. So he said that, see, if I give that also, then how will I survive? Right? That means he is using his intelligence, not ready to accept Kali's intelligence. So in the same way, we should not use our intelligence. We should use Krishna's intelligence. Krishna is ready to give that intelligence. Why? As you reciprocate to him, he is going to give you intelligence through the Paramatma feature. So that's what is trying to be conveyed in this 9th chapter. That's why it's called Raja Vidya. It's a very secretive of all knowledge. And I hope this is where we are touching upon. We'll stop here. Any questions? Please feel free to ask me. Or is there anything else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Prabhu, just a clarification needed. In the slide for 9.2, the top secret one.
9.2, which one
Yeah.
is this? Wait, let me share the screen.
Raja Vidya, this knowledge is the king of education.
Yes, please. 1 minute. Yeah, okay.
So this verse, I'm unable to understand. Like, what is that secret knowledge?
I did say that. What is the secret of all this knowledge? Can anyone tell what is the secret of all knowledge? I did say in that. What did they say? A secret of all knowledge.
I can answer that, but
Yes.
unless someone else wants to. So one, we're a spirit soul, but more confidential than that is we're part and parcel of Krishna, and we're his eternal servants with an eternal relationship.
Prabhu, say that again. I'll just write it down.
That will
So
cost you.
transcendental knowledge
Wait.
is with
Secret knowledge cannot be given free. It will cost you a little bit. Please,
Okay.
please share a donation, and then we'll talk about later.
No problem, Prabhu. I'll do that.
Okay. You are not this body. You are a spirit soul. Is the correct statement or wrong statement? Saravanan Prabhu.
Yeah, it is correct, Prabhu.
Okay, that is the way you should understand. That's the first one, right? We are eternal servant of the Supreme Lord. That's the second statement.
Okay.
Is there anything else you want to say to Pratap Prabhu? You want to say?
No, Prabhu. I'm just writing it down.
Okay, cool.
Penny's got a question.
Okay. Yes, Penny. Let's go to that.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
In the class, you said that Krishna is only expecting some fruit, flower, leaf, or water.
Correct.
So why why do we like make different offerings when all he's expecting is fruit, flower, leaf, or water?
Absolutely. Krishna is not expecting your big offerings. You are right. We don't need to. But can your tongue be happy with only fruit, water, and flower? You would want to take some toast and you want to take some baked beans. You also like flapjacks. You also like a lot of roasted potatoes, right? You like also pizzas and pastas and noodles and spaghettis and all that. So, but what will you do if you want to eat? You need to offer to Krishna, right? Otherwise, what will happen to that food? What will happen to that food?
It will not be prasadam.
That means you are
It
eating
will
sin.
be eating sin.
It could be eating sin. That is why we don't offer anything which is not offerable to the Supreme Lord. So these are the things which we need to offer it for at this point of time for our stomach, right? For our tongue and stomach, we are having all this. Otherwise, Krishna is happy with just fruit, flower, and water. Okay?
Hare Krishna.
So you are happy with that. Later on, you happen, as you progress, as you become a big girl, then what you can do is you can offer what Krishna likes. Okay? Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Quite exhausted because I've done 16 rounds today, and
Wow, you should be happy. You made a very important goal in your life. 16 rounds, amazing.
And I was up
well
at
done, Prabhu. Well done.
4:30. I just feel happily exhausted.
That's
but
it.
anyway, I was going to ask about dinosaurs and how they fit into the spiritual literatures. I mean,
what?
I know it's a bit of a strange question, but do the literatures do they talk about dinosaurs? And
at least Bhagavatam doesn't speak about dinosaurs, but it definitely there are books like written by Michael Cremo, Dhruta Karmadasa, called The Forbidden Archaeology. If you refer to that book, I have not read it, but I have read the preface and the introduction, and that's a big book. That's a big book. It's not a small book, so it's a good book. If you have a chance, read that, and you will be given the wonderful opportunity of knowing more about the dinosaurs.
Could you put that in the chat so I could write it down?
Yes.
Yeah, it's very technical though. It's an archaeological book, so it's quite dry, is my understanding.
Yeah,
I like
read an archaeological
he
book,
likes it. He likes it. So you give him. Prabhu, can you please type the message so that he is aware of?
Yes, please.
Michael Cremo, Dhruta Karmadasa. The book is Forbidden Archaeology.
Yeah, I'll post.
I can always dive into the ocean of devotional service to get wet.
Yeah, but the dinosaurs, unfortunately, is not in the devotional service area. It is in the other part of the area where it's dry. If you want to become wet, you should be in this side. If you want to become dry, you go to dinosaurs area, whichever you want to choose. Because dinosaurs is a body. It is also in this material world.
I don't have any questions because it just the fault is in us and not in the process. The process is perfect, but we are the ones who are in difficulty.
You don't say it's a fault, Prabhu. That is a negative way of thinking. Please don't use these. There is something called NLP, neuro-linguistic pattern, right? You understand that. Don't think it's a fault. Look it as a challenge. It's a challenge. It's not a fault. It's not a problem. You look at yourself as having some challenge to overcome. So then you will be all right. It's not that process is it's not the process is perfect and then we are not able to follow. So that's our issue. It's not issue. It's a challenge. We will overcome that challenge. It's just a matter of time. It just needs a concentrated effort and a tweak, and you should be all right to overcome it. It's not difficult at all. We are all going through. Every one of us have our own challenges. You might be thinking about something which is a big challenge for you, but maybe the same thing for me or for someone else, like anyone else. So that's the idea behind it. Is that okay? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Prabhu.
Can I ask a question as well, Prabhu?
Yes,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So, Prabhu, when you were talking or asking who have realized that they are a spirit soul and not this body, and my hand was like there and there, because I feel like personally, I do know I'm a spirit soul, not this body, but it just changes to my emotion, changes to anything that's happening around me. And I always try, like sometimes try my best, then all my emotions, all what's happening around me doesn't let me think. And it gets so hard sometimes to, sometimes I feel like, oh, I want to think, but I cannot think. So how to try to, like, I know that Krishna has given this emotion, but like how not to be affected by all these things around me and still be able to be at peace, but thinking like, oh, I'm this spirit soul, and not be affected by all this attachment. It's there, like I have a family, I still attached to them.
Are we all a part of your family?
You are. Everyone is part of my family.
Thank
you know.
Okay,
But
so good. So your answer, your question has the answer in it, right? Krishna is telling Arjuna that Traigunya Vishaya Vedadinis Traigunya Bhavarjuna. Learn the art of overcoming from the three modes of material nature. What it means is that it's not that we are going to let go everything what we have. Emotions are naturally bounded because you have been an emotionally oriented, rationalistic animal. You cannot escape from all those things. But the way in which we deal with it is that we don't take it to our heart and hold it for long. We don't take things for our heart and don't hold it for long. You should just learn the art of releasing it. It will come by practice. It is not an overnight. That's why I said first few classes before that we are not going to be saints overnight. We will all have all these things. These are features which are naturally going to be there in our system. It's not that. But we are trying to purify ourselves so that we can become a saint one day or the other.
Yes, for sure, Prabhu, because I feel like when people think like you're in Krishna consciousness, you have become a saint, and they expect you not to be.
That's their view. That's their view. Are we not eating food? Are we eating sand because we are in Krishna consciousness? No. We are eating the same food what we are cooking, in the same chapati, dal, sabji, whatever you are doing, the same food we are taking. But what are we taking now with? We are taking it with complete purification, right?
Our consciousness is different.
Absolutely. It's a consciousness. Now it's Krishna consciousness. Before it, it was bodily conscious. I'm eating for my tongue. After tongue, everything is going on the same pipe, right? It doesn't matter whether you're eating ice cream or a Ferrero Rocher. It's all same inside only, right? Or a baked bean, whichever it is, right? It's all going to go inside the same gullet. It's not going to change itself and say that, wait, Ferrero Rocher coming, Hoshiar, this, when the kings come, right? They give a big shout and say the callers, what do you call the town callers? They will keep, the king is coming, the queen is coming, and in between someone is coming. So they trumpet a lot. So in the same way, when you put something, okay, Ferrero Rocher inside, now it's going to come, Ferrero Rocher is coming, please wait, make way for that in the stomach. Which is it going to say? No. All this.
Hare Krishna. My personal, it is, I think sometimes it's very difficult when you're Krishna conscious because you're opposing society's views, so it's not always popular. I mean, my personal experience is that if somebody is loving the world and they want to enjoy the world, you'll never convince them. It's only people who can see that the world is not a nice place and that it's suffering. For some reason, some people can see that and some people can't. I mean, I've always seen as the world is a suffering place and I don't like it. And that's why I was attracted. But people's mentalities are vastly different. If somebody loves the world and sees enjoyment in the world, they won't be interested in Krishna.
Good. Okay. This is one way of looking at things. Why normally it is not true, but in one fact of what Jas Prabhu said is that why did he feel that this world is not a great place to be and it is a place of suffering? That's also not going to come straight to you on day one. After you've been beaten left, right, and center for a long duration of time.
That's where I am. See, that's
look
where
at that. That's the secret of all secret, which is coming out now.
Yeah, because I've had a very bad life.
This is Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam for him. So every one of us have this Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam in us.
So in that respect, it's easier for someone who's had these experiences than to somebody who, for example, is just coming into the world, they're fresh, they're young, and the world is telling them to enjoy, go out, go with your friends, drink, and do all kinds of sinful things. But Krishna consciousness is telling them the opposite. So it's very difficult.
Yeah. So yes, this is true, but the way in which you need to approach to this particular problem is through a challenging concept of understanding that you become stronger by convincing yourself with the scriptural references. Sadhu, Shastra and Guru. If you have these three things kept in your face, in your neck and in your heart, then automatically you will not get disturbed by this emotions, sentiments and something which is all the time. Oh my God, this is a phenomenal answer.
This is
Message.
it. Yeah, I just saw that.
I just saw that. This is terrible, man. Where is this girl from? Did you read that message?
Yeah, spiritual life is difficult. Material life is impossible.
Terrible. This is phenomenal. This is a straightforward statement which is coming through Srila Prabhupada's point. This is what Prabhupada wanted actually to understand this. This world is not something very easy to handle because we are trying to convince everyone which is not going to happen. You can't make the 5 fingers same. Why? Because 5 fingers has a specific reasoning for that, why it has to be. So in the same way, how can you convince all the 5 people who are sitting in your house and say that they are my family members? No one can understand. No one will accept you as to be in Krishna consciousness because
I
this
think
is a
that's the
complete fight
beauty
out.
of it. That's the beauty of it. If you get it from the right mentality,
Yeah.
then you don't have to worry about other people. You make yourself happy.
You don't worry about others, but you care
Yeah.
for them. That is why you are taking up Krishna consciousness. If you take up Krishna consciousness, that's good for you. And not just for you, for the entire family. 14 generations.
But Prabhu, they don't see it that way. If you get if anyone's family.
No one sees that way, right? Will a diseased person want a medicine or wants ice cream?
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
Why does he want ice cream?
It
Because
tastes
he's
good.
not able to control his senses. He doesn't want a, but what does the doctor gives? He will give ice cream, but it will be full of medicine. And he will not even know, he will eat it and then get cured. Prabhupada gives the example of using the same, no one likes sugarcane juice when you have a jaundice. When in normal days you love to drink because it's sweetish. But when you have a jaundice, how does the sugarcane juice taste? Complete bitter, but that's the pill. So
I used to think that I was far too sinful to do deity worship. And many people told me, don't get the deities. And I must admit, it's a very difficult process. But one sentence made me change my mind. And it said about a diseased person going to a doctor's. If a diseased person would go to a doctor, would he be scared of going to see a doctor? A diseased person, no. A sensible person would want to go and see the doctor.
Well, there is no other choice for him. Otherwise, he is going to be diseased forever. So that's why he's going to a cure, place of cure. So now we are practicing because we want to get purified. We don't live for others, for them to tell us what their opinion is. So you do it for yourself and you get cleared about yourself. You become convinced of yourself. You have that faith that Krishna will clean up your system first. And that will help you to become an example to others to follow you. And that is what is needed for this. So in that process, of course, it's not a one-day affair. It's a lifelong affair. It's not a stand where you can say that I stood here, I did this and I'm done and dusted. No, you practice it. You make a failure and you step again and again and again and again. Every child has to climb and sit. And how many times you have fallen from the cycle? At least I know that minimum at least 50 times I have fallen down. And every time I fall, I will have a hit on my knees, hit in my elbows and scratches. And so many times I've fallen. But that's how you learn it. That's how this material world is beating us every day. And emotions, sentiments, all this carry in our heart all the time. It will actually blackmail us. It will blackmail us. But the only way by which we can outcast it is that you become stronger with the strength of Sadhu, Shastra and Guru. If you hold the scriptures, if you hold the spiritual master, if you hold the practitioners closer to your heart and love them closely, hug them, then automatically any other things will not come near to you. It will all run away. That's the key of our success. That is why secret knowledge is not given to common people. Right? Bank of England has a vault. You know what a vault is, right? Vault is place where all the money is kept and all the gold is kept and all this, right? You think that key will be given to the public? Even the CEO will not have the key for that. There will be one person whom he himself will not know. He will be the only one who will be in charge of it. That's how this Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam is. Not everyone can come to that level. They may start Bhagavad Gita, they may get dropped off. But in order to understand the spiritual knowledge and the information which is being given to them through the Supreme Lord's costless mercy, it can only be when he is completely envious, out of envious, unenvious or non-envious. Moment he becomes non-envious, everything gets revealed.
It makes a lot of sense if we are in Maya's kingdom, if we are in an illusion, if we are in a place where we don't belong, then it's going to be very difficult because that's not where we belong. We're trying to get to a different world, a different level of consciousness.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very challenging. It's not going to be easy.
No, it's true, Prabhu. It has to be challenging. Why? Because we are in a mental hospital here. Every one of us is sitting in a mental hospital. What do you expect? Even the doctors are mental and the patients are also mental. Sometimes the patient acts like a doctor. So then you don't know whom you want to believe, whether the patient or someone will come and say, you know what, don't worry, you take this Gardinal tablet, you take a Largatil, you should be all right, take morning, afternoon, night, 3 times a day, 4 times a week, and then you should be all right, you can walk around and do everything. Then after some time, another fellow will come and say, okay, let me treat you. Then say, who is the first person who came? Oh, that person, he is also a mental case. Then who will believe whom? You can't believe your own people, man. We are in deep trouble.
I know.
That's why we are saying, please understand. The only way by which we can understand is to Sadhu, Shastras, and Guru. You have the spiritual master, you have got the scriptures, and you have the genuine practitioners with love. Those are the people whom we need to rely on completely. Then all these emotions, sentiments, and thoughts and feelings about family members and all that, it will not come at all. Why? Because we are not doing anything artificial. We are doing it with genuine love. We love our parents. Tell me you don't like your mom and dad? You like, right? Everyone likes our moms and dads. Everyone likes everyone because they have struggled their life long. They have beaten like left, right, and blue, and they are doing it for us. That's the greatest pleasure we have, that these are the people who are given their life for us. But what are we giving them in return? The only thing we can give them in return is to make sure that we become Krishna conscious. Then we can come to the level of initiation, and then we take to the level of initiation. Then what happens? They all get the chance to go back to the Supreme Lord's abode. How do you feel it? This is what Prahlad Maharaj was doing. This is what Dhruva Maharaj was doing. When Dhruva Maharaj did that, the first thing he asked is, where is my mom? He didn't ask about anyone else. He asked, where's my mom? Then the Vishnu Dutta said, no, don't worry about your mom. She is already in that other chariot. She's already up and running. So you just have to follow her. That's all. You are all done and dusted. No problem. You just relax yourself. See, that's what the care is all about. That's what his love is all about. That's what his devotion is all about. This is what Krishna is expecting also. If a child can ask such an intricate question, right? Why can't the elders follow the footpaths of the child and accept that love which the child is trying to convey that to us? All right, good. Next question, Prabhu, if any.
If anyone wants to ask, otherwise I think we'll end there.
We have one with Saule Mataji. So it says, Hare Krishna Prabhu, yesterday someone asked me, why am I offering food to the Lord? Because he's rich and self-sufficient, so he does not need anything. What can I answer, Prabhu?
That's easy to answer because Krishna wants our love. It's not what we offer to him, it's the consciousness that we're giving it to him too. He just wants our love. It could be something tiny, it could be something huge. He's not looking at the offering, he's looking at the consciousness of the person who's offering it.
Does Sola gets the answer from Jess Prabhu, or she still needs more answer?
Saule, are you still there?
Yes, Prabhu, I'm here.
Hare Krishna. So you got the answer from Jess Prabhu. Did you get the answer, or you wanted more explanation?
Yeah, some explanation, please, Prabhu.
Some explanation. Why am I offering food to the Lord? Because he is rich and self-sufficient. So he does not need anything. Yes, actually, it's not for him we are offering. It's for us we are offering. We need to eat. I explained it to Penny sometime back. If you don't offer the food to the Lord, you are actually eating the sin. Why do you want to eat the sin? In order to purify that sin, we are simply offering whatever we wanted at this point of time to the Supreme Lord and take it back. If the Lord takes back food, you will not even start offering. Let us say you make a pizza, 2 pizzas you made, and you kept it in front of the Lord, and you said, "Oh Lord, please take it." And then you come back and see suddenly one of the pizzas is missing. The first thing you'll do is you'll start searching out, where did the pizza go, man? I never thought that the Lord will have. There must be something wrong somewhere. Goofy. Who is the other guy who is sitting in the backside of the Lord? Right? This is how our mentality is. We wanted to give it to the Lord, but you still want to take back the complete thing with the Lord. That kind of mentality, if you have, whatever may be the situation, is not going to help you.
Was my answer incorrect then?
Inshallah. You know what it means? Just to, do you know what it means?
Yeah.
What does it mean? Tell me.
Sorry, what? Which one?
I said some word.
That's okay.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
I
All
don't
glories
know
be to the Lord.
No, what is that one?
No, I said all glories be to the Lord.
Oh, yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
It's a Muslim term. It's a Persian language. It's a Urdu. So what I meant is that whatever you said is true. It's a consciousness we want to get cleared of. So we offer it to the Lord. The Lord is going to give his consciousness into the food that becomes purified, and we take it back.
Oh,
that's
I
all.
thought I was wrong.
No, never. You are always correct, Prabhu. You are on the right path of devotional practice. You're right. No problem at all. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
I have a question.
Yes.
How do we develop humility and become humble? Is it like just from, is it from chanting, and like do we become humble over time from chanting, or
yes.
are there like additional practices that we can follow?
You just simply need to chant. You don't have any other path and methods to become humble.
Yeah, that
this
seems
material
like
energy will make you humble. This material energy or the material nature in which we are in will naturally make you humble. The situations will be created in such a manner that you will have to showcase your humbleness. There is a beautiful pastime about a Lord dancing on Kalia, right? The serpents, right? And Krishna made the Kalia feel humble by just thumping on the head of the Lord, of the snake. Why? Because this is natural for all of us. We are thinking we are the doers. The moment we think we are the doers, then we get hit by the material energy. We will not have a choice to improve upon us. Moment we think we are simply the servants of the servants of the servants of the Lord, automatically you will become naturally humble. Situations make you humble. You will have to become ready for it. That kind of situations will come and stand in front of you. So then you will be naturally forced to become humble. And by chanting the holy name of the Lord, slowly, your heart will get purified. It will cleanse your heart. Your heart becomes more revealing for the Lord to come and reside in that heart. Till now, the Lord has given you a chance to put himself in that lotus feet, but Krishna is ready to come and be seated in your heart. But however, somehow or the other, there are a lot of kalmashas, means like lust, greedy, false ego, anger, envy, all these kind of vices which constitute for time immemorially is residing there. So as you chant, all these come out and the Supreme Lord will come and reside. And automatically, when you reside in that temple, your natural frequency is to become more and more humble.
What are the situations like? Are these situations where we see that we are not that great and we don't need to be proud, or something else?
Many situations. It can't be just clubbed into one single situation. Many situations. Every day there is many levels of situations where it tells us that we are very proud about ourselves. We think that we are the doers, but most of the time what happens, we are a failure. Like for example, a child cries. I'll give an example. For example, a child cries. Mother thinks and talks to the child and says, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. 10 times, 100 times the mother will say. But has the mother thought about why the child is crying in the deeper sense, to understand why the child is crying? automatically the mother will get an answer. But that means before that, she was a failure, right? The more you become failure, the more is a chance you will become humble. That's the secret. The more failures you have, the better you will become more humble. But
I must be the most humblest person in the world because I fail at quite a lot of things.
Thank you, Prabhu. You are not the only one. You can also put me in that box. Yeah, I'm also in the same lines. I'm sure many of us in this box are also in the same lines. It's just a matter of time. That is, oh my God, many hands are coming up, Prabhu. Be careful. Okay, so this is how it is. Does it answer you?
Yeah, it answers. I think it's going to take a long time. I mean, yeah, every time like I'm in a situation where
Did you expect you will become humble tomorrow?
No, not at all.
Yes.
But
We are all in the same page. We always think that we'll become humble tomorrow, not today. But tomorrow is never going to come. Tomorrow never dies. Only today exists.
Right. And every time I'm in like sort of a humiliating situation or something like that, I'm like, okay, this will teach me. And then I just forget it over time.
Yeah, that's the nature of this world. Understand that. That's the nature. It will make you completely enamored.
Yeah.
You will not feel that, oh my God, I forgot about it, man. Someone asked me this question, that what happens if I miss out to offer something for Krishna? Right? Because of my day in and day out activity, I spent a lot of time. I sometimes forget to offer to Krishna. So my question to them back is that how will you miss out to that? Because that's your core. You can't miss the core engine. You need to understand it. You know how the piston works? Are you an engineering student?
Not. I mean, I am, but I
do
don't.
You know?
It's
maybe someone who can. Maybe someone who's an engineering student can explain it to you. There is something.
Is it by the fuel going into the?
Yeah. Many things
chamber?
are there. I can't explain it to you now because there's a lot of theory involved in this, like the enthalpy and all that. So, but that's fine. So, what I'm trying to suggest in simple terms is that humble nature comes by its own as in when you begin to practice your spiritual practice in a more stronger manner.
What's interesting about humility is you're more open to learning because you're aware of your imperfections. Whereas if you're proud and you think you know everything, you're blocking knowledge. You're not going to be receptive to knowledge.
Also, the situations are put in that kind of a situation that you will have to be humble. You will have to come to that level. What question you have asked now is applicable to all of us here, each of us. We are all sailing in the same boat, maybe in different decks, but fact is we are all sailing on the same boat. That is why Krishna has put us this: birds of same feather flock together.
It all connects and makes sense because a materialist thinks he's God, whereas a devotee thinks he is nothing but a servant.
He is dog of the God. A devotee thinks he is a dog of the God.
Yeah, he thinks he's something very low, and that's why he can appreciate Krishna's qualities. Whereas a materialist won't. They want to see themselves as amazing, and they want to be proud, and they want to, take hold of all their achievements.
That's a mentality which they are carrying themselves with.
Yeah,
that bubble will one day burst. That bubble has to burst. It's an artificial bubble. But what we are trying to do is in a very natural and very acceptable method of accepting. It's like Ayurveda. You know that you're using natural therapies, it will get cured. In the same way, this is what you need to practice with. More humble is great.
Yeah. Okay? Yeah. I mean, with Krishna, like, we accept him, and in some sense, we've become humble. But then I feel like in devotion, we also develop pride for devotion itself.
You should not feel pride when you are in devotion. It's not good. That means that you have got some motivation in your system. There is something you are expecting as return. It's not a business deal you are doing, you came here for. It's not something like a political wing you want to start here for. You are not here for making some money out here. It's not spiritual life. Spiritual life is devoid of all these things. If you wanted all those things, you should be with the Conservative Party or Labour Party. What are you doing here and sitting, wasting time 1 hour? Right? So humble nature will come only when you connect yourself with the Supreme Lord and his devotees and who are practicing with that humble nature. then automatically it will come. But if you are thinking about, oh no, if I become more spiritually stronger and all, that pride will come. Yes, it will come, because that is also an issue. You have to get purified someday or the other. Sometime you have to be a pure soul. At this point of time, we are completely camouflaged. Cheto darpana marjanam. When you start rubbing this heart mirror, only then first time you can't see the face, because the mirror is completely dirt. We need to remove the dirt.
What will it profit a man if he gains the world and loses his soul?
Wow, this is directly from Old Testament or New Testament, Prabhu? Which testament is it from?
I don't know, but it that just come into my mind, because
true,
the material energy is all about losing your soul and gaining material things, and spiritual life is about gaining your soul and losing material things.
Exactly, but it's not that way. What we have is a small difference. What we do is that we don't take that path. What we do is we keep both spiritual and material life in this same equilibrium. It's like going on a train. A train, except for a monorail. Don't ask me monorail. We are talking about a broad gauge line. The broad gauge line has two lines. One is spiritual life, another one is material life. We go on and on in the same path. But at one point of time, we withdraw the material activities so that we can concentrate on our spiritual activities. Then we will be able to connect with the Supreme Lord more closer. That's all. End of the day, even the material thing belongs to Krishna. So we channelize, we dedicate, we dovetail all that which can be used in the service of Krishna, except envy.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. We're gonna take two last questions and then we'll end because we're over time. But Himi Mataji had raised her hand. If you'd like to, if it's a short question, we've got a couple of minutes. We can, if you'd like to ask your question, Himi Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Sorry, it's not a question. It's more like a thank you for today's lesson. Few of the shloks that you recited today just brought back a lot of childhood memories. It's like we were blessed, me and my sister were blessed to have our childhood brought up with our grandparents, and bedtime stories were more about Mahabharata and Bhagavad Gita. But we always used to finish off with this shlok that we always, like you said, when you're a child, you say it like a parrot, and but not understanding what you're saying.
Yes.
So my main purpose to join was I want to understand what the whole shlok was that my grandmother made us say again and again. So
what is the shloka? Do you recollect?
Yeah, Basant, if you can help me out, because I might just say it wrong as well.
That's fine.
There's different parts of the 18th chapter said in the shloka. So we were taught by our Swamiji, Swami Ishwarpuri, who lived in Jagannath and followed Srila Prabhupada. So he used to come to our home and teach us with our grandparents, and it was Manmana Bhav Madbhakto Madhyaji Mam Naskru Mam Avesasi Satyam Te Pratijane Priyosi Me Sarv Dharman Paritaj Mam Ekam Sharnam Bridge Aham Twa Sarpa Pibyo Mokshi Shami Masuje Jam Jamante Satstreshu Tapo Dhyan Samadhi Be Niranam Shin Papa Nam Krishna Bhakti Pardai Te Yo Mam Ajamanadi Javeti Log Beheshram Asamura Samarteshu Sarpa Pe Pramuchte Sarvyoni Ashukunte Murte Sabhavantya Tasam Brahmahedyoni Aham Bij Pratpita Pitaham Ashchakto Mata Dhata Pitame Vedam Pravitram Omkar Rigved Shamved Jajurved Bo Krishna Bhagwan Ki Jai.
So wow. From Bhagavad Gita only. You're talking about all the shlokas are from Bhagavad Gita in different parts of Bhagavad Gita. We have touched upon many of the Bhagavad Gita shlokas. This shloka which you are talking about is in the 18th chapter. What I spoke about is in the 9th chapter.
Yes.
Manmana Bhava comes in two places.
Yes.
So the one in 9th chapter, one in 18th chapter. So what you said as a verse comes in the Manmana Bhava Madhyadi Mam Namaskuru Mame Veshasi Satyam Te Pratijane Priyasi Me, means you become more dear to me. So understand the translation from Srila Prabhupada's books. All these shlokas are available in Prabhupada's book and the translation. Understand the translation, the meaning of it, and then you can know what you have been taught.
That's it. That's what my purpose is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Please.
Thank you.
That's very important. All this is to just inculcate you to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's all it is.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. We've got one last question before we conclude, and that's
Yeah.
from Vanita Mataji, Vanita Datta. If you'd like to ask your question, please, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. The
Hare
question
Krishna.
from my son.
Yes. What is the question?
He wants to ask why do we call each other Prabhu and Mataji?
Good question. Very nice. Well done. Why do we call Prabhu and Mataji? Prabhu as Prabhu's, Mataji
Isn't it a
as
sign
Mataji.
of respect?
Yes, it is true. Shastra has explained that we need to see everyone apart from our wife as mothers. Penny, do you want to answer this?
Mataji means mother, Prabhu means master.
Okay.
Oh, master.
Yes. So what
I never
does
knew that.
why do we call them as Prabhus? Is because
Respect.
with respect.
Yeah, I was right.
Yeah. So when you say Prabhu, it also means that you are accepting their position as better than yours. Since you are accepting him as a master, so you become a servant. That is why we call it as a Prabhu. And if you say
Oh,
Mataji,
interesting.
Mataji means mother. We see everyone in this world apart from our wife as mothers, because they are the one who are feeding us, who are taking care of us, who are our source of energy. So we respect completely, immensely with our heart all the mothers. That's why we call everyone as Matajis.
Prabhu,
Yes.
didn't Srila Prabhupada ji only say Prabhu to everyone and Mataji came a bit later?
No, it's not.
No?
It's not true.
Yes, I've heard that.
Prabhupada always called as mother,
I've heard that as
Mataji
well.
as Mataji. It is probably some of them who thought that calling Prabhu is same as Mataji's.
So when you call somebody Prabhu, you're calling them a master, as in they know
It's
more
the
than
same.
you.
There is no difference to it. End of the day, you are accepting someone as boss than you are.
More advanced.
Is it like serving?
Maybe Dave Edwards
Servant
Prabhu
of
can
the
say a
servant.
word.
Yeah, it's like, our human nature should be, we want to be a servant. So we're serving, so we don't feel ourselves superior. So we always
Yeah.
want to serve. So in that mood of goodness, obviously, so we just say, Prabhu, like, how can I serve you?
No, let's
just in
not
that way.
speculate. Let's not speculate with all our understanding in our own ways. We'll just accept what Prabhupada said. That's more than enough. Maybe Dave Edwards Prabhu wants to speak a few words about that because he might be exposed to this. Dave Prabhu?
I've got nothing to add, I'm afraid.
Brilliant.
Sorry.
No worries. Okay, this is what it is. Prabhupada has told us, mother is mother, Prabhu is Prabhu, our father is father. That's all. Nothing. Maybe some people in the down the line, they thought that Prabhu is better because it's showing a different view than mother. Actually, the word mother is more powerful. Mataji is more powerful than Prabhu's. But Prabhu's, some of the Matajis think they want to be called Prabhu's because it has got a lot of, what do you call, some kind of uplift value, right? Like, for example, if I'm calling myself a master, so then obviously that means you are a servant. How does you feel it? You feel great, right? But Mataji is after all mother. Come on, man. Mother is so familiar, so we don't have to worry about it. That kind of a feeling. Okay, we'll stop here if it's okay with everyone.
Yes, thank you.
That's it? Any other
That's
questions?
it.
Otherwise, nothing. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai,
Jai.
Srila Gita ki jai.
Thank
We'll meet
Jai.
once again, 10th chapter, 10 more days to go, rather 8 more days to go with the 10th chapter on tomorrow, same time, 7 o'clock. Please be there. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much,
Ki
Prabhu.
jai.
His Grace Vishwakaranga Prabhu ki
Hare
jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Panchakalpataruvasya Vaishnavrinda ki jai.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you.
Hare
for joining.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Soon.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare